Hey there. How's everybody doing? Wednesday morning. We ready to rock and roll and talk about this week's podcast? So this week we're talking about the most important relationship in your life. Now, I'm guessing, like a lot of my clients, the relationships that come up for you when I suggest, first of all, just the concept of relationship, but when I say the most important one in your life, a lot of people think about their partner, their kids, their friends and family. Maybe they think about their company and their boss and their coworkers or their neighbors, or maybe they think about their community, right? There's a whole bunch of relationships that we're all in every day, all day. They change in different seasons of our lives. But today we're going to talk about the most important relationship, which is the relationship you have with yourself. Did that even cross your mind? Probably not, right? So here's a few things that I want you to consider. When we're talking about relationships, first of all, let's step way back and consider, what is a relationship? Any ideas? I gave some ideas. I had actually polled some clients and some friends and family, and I kind of distilled their answers into a handful of answers for the show. Things like, a partnership between two people, or when people come together over common interests and passions and loves, right? This is what a relationship is. And the first thing I want to offer you is the concept that relationships are all thoughts. That's it. Relationships only exist in our minds. So think about this just for a second. Think about a relationship that you have, maybe with your partner, with your kids, or with the coworker or something, right? A relationship that you're in. And then think of a time where you have felt one way, either about the other person or about the relationship as a whole. And the person that you're in relationship with has felt a totally different way, right? How can that be? If a relationship is a relationship, right? If that's a thing, then we'd all have to agree, wouldn't we? It would have to be the same thing for everybody. But the reality is, a relationship isn't a thing. It's not a tangible thing. It's not an intangible thing. It's not a thing at all. Relationships are just our thoughts, right? So, how I'm thinking about my husband creates the relationship that I have with him in my mind. That's it. The relationship that he has with me is based 100% on how he thinks, the thoughts that he has going on. So, thoughts that I have about who I'm being in the relationship, thoughts that I have about what a marriage should look like, thoughts that I have about what a husband should or shouldn't do, what a wife should or shouldn't do, how the business of the household should be handled, all of that stuff. It's all just thoughts, right? So if our relationships are just thoughts, then like everything I teach, right? We need to clean up our minds around them. Now, we're going to go back to the concept that the most important relationship in your life is the relationship you have with yourself. And here's how and why this is true, right? No matter what season of your life you're in, no matter whether you're married or whether you're single or whether you're young or whether you're old, right? No matter where you move, no matter what changes in your life, you are always with you. And further to that, we have 60,000 thoughts a day. Our minds are thought thinking machines, right? There's a lot going on up there all day, every day. And those 60,000 thoughts, some of them are kind of silly, right? Like, I need to get bananas at the grocery store, right? Or they're about traffic or household chores, right? But a lot of those thoughts create a sort of inner dialogue, you talking with yourself, you bartering with yourself, you judging yourself, giving your opinions about yourself, right? All of this is going on all day, every day. So it's interesting and really important to consider that those thoughts that you're having with and about yourself, that internal dialogue that's going on about how you're acting in the world, who you're being in the world, how you look, what kind of job you're doing, what kind of wife or parent or partner or anything you are, right? All of that is like having a conversation with a person all day, every day, right? And we don't think about taking care of the relationship that we have with ourselves like we think about taking care of the relationship that we have with a partner or with our kids or with our family and friends, right? In those relationships, it's really easy to see that there's a way to build up trust, there's a way to build up loyalty and confidence and love and all of those wonderful things. And we see through experience and we see through how we interact what kind of relationships we have with people, right? Some friendships are stronger. There's some friends you just can't get enough of. Other friends, it's like it's fine that we see them, a few times a year, whatever that looks like. Some family members are really easy. Some family members are really difficult. And here's the thing, it's always about how you're thinking. It's always about how you're thinking about the family member. It's always about how you're thinking about the friend. And the relationship that you have with yourself is 100% based on how you're thinking about yourself, how you're talking to yourself, the communication that's going on nonstop in your mind, judging and giving opinions and all of those thoughts about yourself. Now, we don't think about building up trust with ourselves the way that we do with other people. We don't think necessarily maybe about loving ourselves the way that we think about loving other people, right? Think about how many times a day you tell your kids you love them, right? Or how many times a day you tell your partner you love them, right? Do you ever, and I know this is going to sound wacky, do you ever pause and tell yourself how much you love yourself? For most of us, that's a hard pass. That's a strong no, right? Now, when I think about doing something challenging, doing something exciting, right? Something I've never done before. This is one of those real time, real life examples where the relationship that I have with myself will show how important it is in what I'm trying to accomplish. So, in the podcast, I use the example of running a marathon. So, this is something that's difficult, it's something that's challenging, but it's not something that's totally impossible, right? Many, many people train for and run marathons, half marathons, full marathons, whatever these days. And my husband's training for a marathon right now, so it's kind of top of mind. So you think about, I've got all this preparation I have to do. I've got all this training I have to do, right? I have these runs I need to do. I'm going to do a couple races along the way. And then how am I going to be on race day, right? All of this training and preparation that you have to do for running a marathon. So now you may end up hiring a personal trainer. You may end up joining up a group, joining up with a group that runs regularly so that you can train with a group of people. You may sign up for the race with a friend so that you're going to run the race together, right? That sounds kind of fun, right? So all of that's good and fine, but here's what I want you to consider. Who's with you, no matter the personal trainer, no matter the running group, no matter the friend that you run the race with? You are always with you, right? The thoughts that you have about training are going to affect how you train. The thoughts that you have about how fast or slow you're going, right? What's expected of you, how well you're doing, if you're injured, how it all feels, all of that stuff is going to be based on the inner dialogue that you have with yourself. Now, it's going to be much easier to run this race with yourself if you're supportive, if you're encouraging, right? If you're hopeful, if you're optimistic, that's one way to run the race. Another way to run the race is to hate yourself the whole time, right? And complain about every mile and to talk about how much it hurts and how difficult it is and you can't believe you signed up for it and what were you thinking? That's a whole other way, right? But if you think about this as a relationship that you are in with yourself, a relationship that's like, I'm running this race with myself and my friend, or I'm running this race with myself and this group of people, right? Think about who you want to be that's going to come along with you on this race, right? Who would you choose to be alongside you if you're doing something really difficult and really taxing and challenging, like running a marathon? Would you choose yourself? So interesting to think about, right? And if you wouldn't, why not? Is it because of how you talk to yourself? Is it because of that inner dialogue and all of the thoughts that you have going on all day, every day, the 60,000 thoughts we have going on in our minds? Just interesting to consider. So tune into this podcast. This is a really good one. The most important relationship that you have in your life is with yourself. And I made a worksheet for you, of course. You can find that over on the website, kellyhanlonmccormick.com/podcast/29. This is episode 29 of the Transforming Anxiety podcast. And I don't mention it here very often, but I will this morning. If you would like your very own life coach, right? Do you need to work on the relationship that you have with yourself? If that's true for you, schedule a consult call with me and let's talk about it. kellyhanlonmccormick.com/coaching. You can find a spot there where you can schedule a consult call whenever it's convenient for you. And we'll hop on the phone for 15 or 20 minutes and chat about the relationship that you have with yourself, what that looks like, and whether it's working for you or not. Are you the training buddy that you would pick for anything challenging, whether this is for the next promotion at work or whether you're starting a family or whether you are doing something like running a race? Maybe it's a big goal in your business, right? Are you the buddy and the partner are you the company that you want to keep? So interesting to think about. So before I let you go today, I also want to share with you the Anxiety Revolution starts Monday. It goes live August 26th, which is Monday. So if you come over, I'll put it in. Did I put it in the show notes? I'll have to check and see if I put it in the show notes. It's on the website, though. It's in the show notes. I'm remembering. Along the top of the website on every page, there's an announcement bar about the Anxiety Revolution. My interview is day 2. It's Tuesday, August 27th. It's a free interview series. You will get all of the interviews directly to your inbox. It's free for you to access. And there are, I believe, 15 speakers. I'm one of the featured experts that Hannah chose for this season of the Anxiety Revolution. And it's going to be amazing. It's a whole range of topics, a whole range of speakers. So I encourage you, if you're really, really seeking help, if somebody that you know could benefit from transforming their experience of stress and anxiety, check it out. It's a great way to learn a lot from a lot of different people in a short amount of time. So the interviews are all kind of short and sweet. They're not hours and hours. You can take this with you on the go. You can listen to it as you commute, whatever that looks like. So the Anxiety Revolution, check that out. I would love to see you there. And in the meantime, have a wonderful week. I hope everybody's doing well and you're enjoying August and the end of summer here. We're about to transition into fall. We say that, but really, we've got a whole month left of summer, right? Until the autumn equinox on September 21st, I believe. So I hope you're having a great week. Come join me on the podcast. Give me a rating and review, pretty please. If you haven't done that already, I would really appreciate it. Grab your free downloadable worksheet that goes along with this episode and really consider the most important relationship in your life is the relationship you have with yourself. All right, folks, have a wonderful week. I will see you same time, same place next week. Bye for now.